Hi everyone, this is Dr. Ernesto from AttaBoyCowBoy, and in today's video I want to share with you my plan for helping you break cycles in your life and escape poverty. So I had an interesting experience about 20 years ago. My brother was really ill with AIDS and unfortunately he passed away. But in the process I bought 2 houses. I thought we were going to live there and he needed somewhere secure to live for the remainder of his time. Once he passed away I was like, okay, now I got 2 houses. I got to fix them up. How do I do this? I've never done construction. So I thought, okay, I'm going to implement the #1 strategy I learned while I was in school. Plan your work and work your plan, okay? So make a plan and execute it, basically. The plan was to fix these places and try to improve the neighborhood. The neighborhood I bought in was terrible. Full of drugs, gang members all around, hanging out in my driveway and all around the streets, shooting every day. Multiple friends and people I met in the neighborhood got shot and died around there. It was just a total mess. A lot of poverty and a lot of crime. So I thought, okay, I want to try to help this situation as much as I can. I made my plan and I tried to execute it. My plan was to try to employ as many of the people I could in the surrounding area to help me remodel these houses. I started training myself on plumbing, electricity, framing, all that kind of stuff. And along with my dad, we started training some of the folks there. I paid them all market wages, but they didn't have to pay taxes. They were actually making above market wages. But I ran into an interesting experience. I had these neighbors right across the street from me, and they lived in a room the size of the living room here, which is about 400 square feet. It was a studio, and they had a mom and dad and the sons. The 2 sons were about 17 and 18. And when I would try to get them over to work, they would always have excuses. They would say, hey, I gotta eat. I go, okay, well, how about after you're done? About 10 minutes, 15 minutes? I say, no, give me about 3 hours. I say, 3 hours? Why so long? They say, oh, I gotta wait for my food to go down. Okay. And sometimes they would be helping me and they'd say, okay, I gotta go. Why? I need to go drink my friends. I need to go play dominoes. I need to go watch a baseball game. I need to watch basketball. I mean, all things that were fun, but not necessarily a necessity. And if you're in that type of situation in terms of poverty, I thought, well, I would want to work, you know? I grew up with not a lot of money and I always had a hunger to want to work and improve stuff. But these folks had a different mindset. And I noticed the kids were kind of the same way, you know? The guys were all kind of like the adults, the men and the women were kind of irresponsible. They wouldn't show up, they were late, you know, they were arguing with each other, they wouldn't put a lot of effort into things, you know? And of course you can't generalize, but that was my experience with my immediate surroundings, with my neighbors. So then I tried to focus more on the children. I thought, okay, that's gonna be my new plan. I'm gonna make my plan and I'm gonna work my plan. So I'm going to try to improve their scholastic experience. So I try to hire all the kids. There was over 20. It was about the same thing. They'd work an hour or 2. They'd make enough money to go buy a hamburger and then they were done. So I thought, all right, let me try to make more of an impact. I went out and I bought a dozen or so computers and I bought software for all of them. Computer games, science, technology, reading, all that kind of stuff, but in a format that's enjoyable, like entertaining games. And I thought, okay, this is going to be my plan. I told all the children, I'm going to pay you minimum wage, which was about $5 at the time. All you have to do is come over and you guys can all play video games on math, science, whatever. You're gonna get paid per hour and I'm gonna order food, pizza, hamburgers, whatever you guys want on me. I mean, I thought anybody would want that. When I was 9 years old, I was out pulling weeds in summer. No one offered me stuff like that. So that's just what it was. I thought, okay, nobody showed up. I went to all the houses, I knocked on the doors. Nobody wanted to send their kids. And they had nothing against me personally. I finally convinced one parent, okay, all right. They sent him over, he came over with his head down, kind of dragging his feet, like, He got on the computer, you know, I got him some pizza, whatever he wanted, he ate. He played for about an hour and said, okay, I'm done, I'm leaving. Are you done? Like, all you made was like $5. Don't you want to make 10, 15, 20, you know, work all day? I mean, I'm a capitalist, I like making money, right? I thought they would be too. No, so I gotta go. I said, what are you gonna do? He says, I'm gonna go watch cartoons. I thought, damn. All right, well, he left, never came back. I got stuck with all these computers. My plan didn't work. I wasn't able to execute it. And I had to basically donate all the computers and a lot of the work I needed to do in the buildings, I just couldn't get people to come over and work. And a lot of them literally lived across the street, left to me, right to me. I had one neighbor right across the alley from me. They lived 19 people in a 1-bedroom. They took me in there, they were really cool. They're still my neighbors. They showed me the rooms. They were like tamales. They had rows of sleeping bags in the living room, 3 different rows, so they can fit all the people. And when I was over there, I remember the daughter, who was about early 20s, was telling me about her problems. She goes, Doc, I'm having problems getting pregnant. I want to get pregnant with by my boyfriend, who happened to live there with her in the living room on the floor. And I thought, wow, why would you want to get pregnant? You don't have a place to live. You're like, not doing real well financially. You're sleeping on the floor of your parents' house. I mean, I can have room for this extra child. No, doc, I want to get pregnant. I thought, okay, well, it's just a different kind of mindset. And it made me realize this whole experience, because this went on for several years. I kept trying different approaches, different plans. It just never worked. 20 years later, several of those neighbors are dead. They got shot. They OD'd on drugs. Some are caught up in gangs, and a lot of them are not. They're fine. They're working, productive citizens. But the area has improved a little bit. But overall, all those folks I met, they kind of had the same mentality. And I realized, like, you have to break these cycles. And the way I was able to do it is I planned my work and I worked my plan. And that's what helped me execute and get things done so I can get from A to B. And I realized a lot of times, for most people, it sounds really easy to get from A to B, but it's not. They can't go in a straight line. They go left and right. And then they end up here maybe, or sometimes they end up over here and on F or G, or over here on Z. It's just, life can be real simple. You just got to make a plan and you got to follow it. But these folks didn't have that, and they weren't able to execute, and they were very disorganized. Good people, but that's why they continued to cycle poverty in their lives. So I think in hindsight, this really helped me, because it helped reinforce what I learned in school. Make a plan and then work your plan. Stay organized, have healthy habits, stay focused on things. If you don't, you'll be all over the place, and your life will be all over the place just the same, including your finances, your health, just about everything, your personal life. So in everything you do in your life, A to B, just keep it simple. Thank you for watching, and from Los Angeles, California, this is Dr. Ernesto. Thank you. Goodbye.